morning, good evening, good afternoon. As per the title, we're fixing this today. It's been stood since I did a track day end of last year. When was it? September last year. It's been stood, and now it doesn't start. So I did the track day. It worked perfectly. Job. Got home, took it out the van, fired it up, rode it into the garage, put it away, and now it doesn't work. And I didn't even wash it. I noticed that. Just chucked it in garage and walked away. There's a few things bit of maintenance, bit of TLC, and then obviously bloody get it running. Hoping to go to track day in 3 weeks' time. So the main issue is it won't start. You can turn it on. Turn on the ignition. I'll show you. I can't turn it on because I can't try and start it because it's too late at night. But you can fire it up. What's that light on? Indicators on. Mobiliser. Fuel pump primes. Okay. So if I was to put a bit of choke on, press the button, it would fire up for about a second. So for a split second, it would be running, and then it would turn off, and then it cut out. So you bar it draw. So you've still got the button on the starter. So it's and then it turns off, and then it starts to turn the engine over. My best guess is that it's priming, fuel pump's priming, but the fuel pump is not turning back on when it gets to 1,000 RPM, whatever, 500 RPM idle, whatever. So that's my best guess. So I'm just going to tear it apart, basically. See what I can find, fuses, electrical blockages. I don't know. Take the fuel pump out of the tank, check the tank. Check the filter on the fuel pump, check all the lines, check the wiring, because it was working fine. So it's something's blocked, something's blown. Anyway, I've got on my whiteboard list of jobs. So I've got the rear indicator. Oh, let's turn it off. Running my battery flat. The rear indicator melted because of the exhaust points in the wrong direction. So I've got a new second-hand indicator to put on, but I can't bloody get it off. So I'm going to have to strip the back end, get the mudguard off, get that off, and whilst I'm there I'm going to clean and paint all this. Our next job is exhaust gasket in there. That joint there, there's no gasket because I was an idiot. So it's like a graphite spacer ring. So I take that apart, put the graphite spacer ring in as it should. You can see there where the exhaust has melted the fairing because this is not the correct, it's an aftermarket, well, the manifold doesn't fit like it should fit. So I'm thinking of doing a right neat cut and cut like a U section out so it's got some clearance. The other thing is the more cosmetic than all, but the exhaust does not run parallel to the fairing, to the plastic. So I'm thinking of cutting it where my finger is, changing the angle so that it's parallel, so it looks good, and also that'll stop the exhaust gases melting the indicator. All these little simple easy jobs. Next job is chain and sprockets, which I don't think have been changed in years. So change them before next track day. Next job, valve clearances. Check the shims. Make sure they're to tolerance. Next job is timing chain tensioner. I'm going to convert it to a manual timing chain tensioner because it's more reliable but tricky to set up. So that's going to be fun. Oil and filter, which it had, just before I bought it last year, it had an oil change and a new filter, but I don't know what to put in it, so I'll do it myself, and then I've got a bit more confidence. It's got the right oil in it. The bulb, I think it's either the speedo or the rev counter. There's no bulb. Bulb's gone. So at night time you can't bloody see. Give it a good clean. When I rebuilt the forks last year, I didn't actually. I don't think I got all the air out of the oil. So what you meant to do is you meant to sort of put the oil in, pump the fork a few times, just to agitate to get in the air spots, air gaps, not air gaps. If there's any air trapped in the bottom of the fork, by moving it up and down, it gets the air out, and then you measure your air gap. I might just check the air gap just to be safe. I've got some new ones of these to put on, which I'm going to do now because that's a nice easy job. And then that's it. So easy peasy. Do all that in the next 3 weeks. Off it goes to track. So enough talking. I'm going to get it up on stands, start taking it apart, and I'll give you a shout once I've done something half decent. So I've got the biking bits. I've just sort of taken the airbox off, but reconnected the temperature sensor and plugged all the wires back in. I've been playing about for a bit and I can't suss it out. But I wanted just to show you what it's doing, show you the symptoms, the non-start symptoms. So if I turn it off. Now there's still fuel in it, fuel lights on, but there's still fuel in it. I've got clutch, tyre pump clutch. So it primes, yep, and then I go to start. And you can hear it just firing. I'm going to put choke on. So a little bit of choke. Try again. No. Right, so I'm going to stop there because it's going to destroy my battery and start the motor. So, to me, it's sparking. I've disconnected some of the fuel injectors, and it's cutting out. It's popping less, which would suggest the fuel injectors are working. So, I'm thinking the fuel pump is weak. I disconnected the vacuum line for the fuel pump regulator, the pressure regulator, fuel pressure regulator. So by disconnecting that vacuum line, and I blocked it off so it didn't upset the engine, in theory you'd be running maximum fuel pressure. It wouldn't be bypassing any fuel because it just overload. Well, the pump would pump as much fuel as it possibly could into the manifold, in that fuel rail. Sorry, got my words right. So it did absolutely nothing. So my gut feeling is bad fuel pump. Now, when I was riding it, that last session, I actually almost ran out of fuel. I run it right down. Warning, fuel level, warning light came on. And I'm just thinking if there's some crud in the tank that's finally blocked up the inlet, the fuel filter mesh. So I'm going to stop messing about, take the tank off, check that fuel pump, and come back to you in a minute. So here we have the fuel pump. Came out quite easy. The previous owner has stripped a bolt and covered it in that rad weld, or whatever the fuck it's called. So I might have to buy a new gasket and maybe helicoil that, we shall see. But I pulled it out really nice and careful, and straight away, well, first of all, it's nice and clean. I was like, oh, it's clean. Yeah, you can see down in there. My phone does not focus anymore. Down in there you've got the little filter, little bag filter for the inlet. And then I think this is a second filter. Now, can anyone see what's wrong? Anyone see? Anyone see anything? Give you another few seconds. So I saw it straight away and I put my finger on it. Boom. This pipe was just resting on there. Just resting on there. So I'm pretty confident, I'm very confident that I can reconnect that pipe, put the fuel pump back in, and it will run. And that's well, time will tell, but as I presumed, low fuel pressure was causing it to try and start up. So I'm going to chuck that back on there. I'm going to clean the tank. I'm going to put a little bit of gasket sealant on the seal, throw it back together, and if it fires up, boom, I can start to fix the rest of the bike. Just for reference, that's how it should be, all the way on. All the way on. How on earth would that have come off? Unless there's a bigger issue, or the previous owner just didn't put it on. I don't know how did it run for. How did it do a full track day? I don't know. Anyway, let's see if it fires up. Just to just to prove I found a fix to the problem. Primes up. It's a lot quieter when it primes. Is the immobiliser on or off? You ready? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Boom. There we go. Right. What next? I think really to make it reliable I need to go back in and buy a new fuel filter gasket, retap that hole. I might have to drill it out to M6. It's M5 now, maybe M6 or helicoil it. I don't think you can helicoil M5. Anyway. Yeah, and then I think this rad weld under here, I don't know if there's a bloody leak in if it's rusted in steel. Maybe there's a bigger problem underneath that rad weld. Anyway, right, moving on.